I would like to call to order the Village of Middleville Council meeting. Rhonda, may I please have roll call?
Kevin Smith,
Here.
Robert Bishop, Tracy Gillespie.
Here.
Richard Hamilton.
Here.
John Osterbon,
Here.
Mackenzie Peters, Ann Williams.
Here.
Like to, go ahead.
I would like to motion to excuse Peters and Bishop. Support.
We have a motion with support. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Motion with support to approve the agenda as written. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes.
I will continue make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
We have a motion with support, the approval of minutes for the regular council meeting of May 27th and approval of bills for June 5th, 2025 for $140,334.01. Rhonda, can we have a roll call for that, please?
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton.
Aye.
John Osterbon,
Aye.
Ann Williams,
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye. All right. And moving on to public comment, limit of 3 minutes. Any public comment? Okay. Moving on to reserve time. Amanda Fisk. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
So I'm just asking for the same amendment as we asked for last year because we forgot again that people like to occasionally sell things at the Pride event that we do. So we're just asking to maybe have the fees and the permit process for vendors, peddlers, whatever you want to call it, just waived for the day. Excluding the food truck, they're fine. I can do that.
I will make that motion.
You have the insurance? No?
The insurance is not in hand with us, but they're in the process of that. So basically, they're just looking for now to not have their vendors have to go through our process and get more insurance and have to pay that fee, other than their food trucs. So,
I mean, it'll cover your
Yeah,
waiver
our
will
insurance
include
should
that.
be
Yeah.
plenty for everything, yeah.
and we've done that for them and multiple other events now that it used to be that the event people didn't have insurance. Now event people have to have insurance. So
Yep. Okay.
it's basically the hiccup.
All right, we have a motion. Did we get support for that?
Support.
We have a motion with support to amend the Middleville Pride event to include vendors and to waive their fees,
Excluding food trucks.
excluding food trucks.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Brenda, I'll just do a roll call for this one if you don't mind, please.
Sure. Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton,
Aye.
John Osterbon,
Aye.
Ann Williams,
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and moving on to petitions and communications. Looks like we have a event permit for Autism Alliance of Berry County. Laura? Welcome.
Oh, she snuck in.
Mhm.
Questions?
Just describe your event, if you don't mind.
It's a fundraiser for the Autism Alliance of Berry County. We start over here at the pavilion. People can go out approximately a mile and a half, turn around and come back. We have band, DJ, and a timer for the event. approximately 40 people are the most we've been able to get so far.
Okay. It all contained on the trail and
Yep.
within this area? Okay. Any concerns?
Yep.
All right.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve the event permit for Autism Alliance of Berry County.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Come out and join us.
Thank you. All right, moving on to event permit for Independence Day.
That's me.
Hi.
I'm standing in for the DDA. Basically, it's just the same thing as we've been doing. The things downtown, it is separate from the things that the Lions Club and the churches do up at school. So it's basically just same as we do every year, things that happen down here.
Okay.
So
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
go ahead. I'll make a motion to approve the event permit for Independence Day with the DDA.
Support.
All right, we have a motion with support. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Ordinances and resolution, Mr. Stolzenberg.
Moving so quick, I didn't have turned to the right page. All right, so the first one in front of you is a budget adjustment. About halfway through the year, we'd make these periodically depending on, how much we're over or under our original budget. We're making some changes to move some money around to take care of some projects coming up this summer. So specifically the Irving Road project. Yeah. It's a
I
big
have
one.
a question. Can you explain what it means for the bottom, the second to last bullet point where it says increase DDA fund 52,000 and then decrease DDA fund by 60,000?
So all that is we're moving money from one line item to another. So when you're moving from, we're decreasing the general fund DDA budget by the 50,000, and then we're increasing it for the printing, shipping, attorneys, things like that. So we're moving it into some different categories is what we're doing.
Gotcha, okay.
And the LDFA, just out of curiosity, that's headed towards the Irving Road
Yes.
project.
Yes.
Okay. All
Mr.
right.
President,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve Resolution 2518, fiscal year 2025 budget adjustments.
Support.
We have a motion with support to approve Resolution 2518, amending fiscal year 2025 budget for general major street, water, and sewer fund expenditures. Rhonda, may I have roll call, please?
Richard Hamilton,
Aye.
John Osterban,
Aye.
Ann Williams,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye.
The next resolution is regarding the street administrator. The village council has to appoint somebody as street administrator. Previously has been Alec Belson, as you're aware, is leaving the organization, so we need to appoint somebody. Previous to Alec being the street administrator, it was the village manager prior to that, so it makes sense for me to be appointed that. Just what I need is another hat, but anyway.
You're in trouble now, pal.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Coming to you for the potholes. man.
that's right.
Fix the roads, Craig.
You should have been grooming someone.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2519, resolution for designation of street administrator to be Craig Stolzenberg, village manager.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Rhonda, may I please have a roll call?
John Osterbon,
Aye.
Ann Williams,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton, Kevin Smith.
Aye. Mr. Stolzenberg, please continue on with your staff report.
Okay, everybody should have it in front of them or had an opportunity to read through it. Just a couple additions. We received in private donations or private pledges, a little over $17,500 towards the Paul Henry Trail Bridge project. So, in addition to that, we've got a total about 350,000 in shared contributions besides the grants that we're going after. So, with the village's contribution, township, Irving Township, Bradford White, some other donations, we're looking at, close to $350,000 in pledge support so far. So it is really, really going well. And then the other item I want to just keep reminding, and the fair booth is open for folks if you're interested in helping out with that. I counted, we do have 15 open slots for village participation. But we're actually in first place. The township has about 20 open slots and the city has about 21 open slots. So we're actually doing better than what we typically do. But if you recall that this is an opportunity for the elected officials to get out there and, see some of their constituents. We'll try to fill in the voids with staff as if we can, as we're getting closer to the event. But any time that you can put in there, that'd be helpful. So
Actually like doing that, so.
it's pretty fun.
You're definitely gonna get a couple of slots from me for sure.
Okay.
It is a good time, and it's just those walnuts, man. Pecans, it kills me.
Yep. Other than that, you've got my report. If anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I do have a couple of quick questions regarding, so obviously cat is out of the bag with regard to our DPW director. So obviously we're going to start publicly pressing to find a replacement. In terms of feedback, are you gathering any feedback in terms of channels, or if you're like what methods?
It's out basically everywhere. Have not received a whole lot of, we've received one official application. I reached out to some of my counterparts in Hastings, Wayland, and so forth to see if they've got anybody that they maybe interviewed that was a good fit potentially, but they just, went a different direction or something like that. And so I've got some other channels out there, but it's, MML, LinkedIn, Facebook, it's out everywhere really. So it's a tough position to fill, and we really want the right person first. And then, if there's some training that needs to be backfilled, we'll work, to get them up to speed training wise, of course. But, Alec really worked well with our folks, and, I think conversely, we worked well with each other. So we'll, look to find the right person first, and then, but definitely going to be hard to fill. So.
What do you think the timeline on something like this would be?
The sewer operator, it took about a year, as to fill that one. And, I hope it doesn't take that long, but, we'll just see what happens.
Do we have any ideas? I know that there's certainly people on the team that are stepping up to fill some of the gaps, obviously.
Yeah.
But would it be helpful to bring in a third party, our go-to?
Well,
our go-to third party, if that makes any sense, just to have eyes out in the
Yep.
field.
Yep. So we, obviously we work well with Williams and Works, and they're going to help us out backfilling some of that. Alec is actually going to help us out a little bit. He's got some banked vacation time that I'm going to let him use a little bit at a time as the water operator in charge, for a minute to sign off on water permitting and some of the things that are necessary reporting wise for Eagle and things like that. So we're working together still on that, and then we'll hopefully have somebody, within 3 to 6 months is what I'm hoping for, so.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment. I think it goes without saying, we need a person who manages by walking around and being involved in what's going on, not chair time.
Absolutely.
Somebody that came up from the floor and knows the ins and outs of DPW.
Yeah. I think, you know, with regard to the village, I think we have a number of people that are likely to help fill that gap to some degree. And while certainly not a replacement for even the team members that we currently have, really any effort to bring anybody else out from the outside in is really just as a measure of support, not as a measure of we don't have faith in that team. Certainly, we do. But it is a big job, and being one person down when historically they've been short in a number of different areas on that team anyway, would be anything that we can do to support that team to help them keep doing the great job that they already do. So whatever we need to do, I will certainly be engaging with Mr. Stolzenberg and Alec to just make sure that everybody is comfortable in that.
Kim's
And
headed
then
over there,
endeavor.
isn't she?
Excuse me?
Kim, she's headed over there.
Yeah, so from an administrative perspective, I think we've upped the hours that Kim's going to be in that office to help support the administrative side of things, which has often been an overwhelming task. So
That's an
I
item
think you're
for
right,
action later on in the
Yep.
meeting, so, yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's anything that we can do to help support them, and specifically you,
Mhm.
right? So as we go through this transition, because it's a big job
Yep.
to deal with. So
Yep, I've got a lot of help out there. I mean, I'm, connected with the Managers Association and, other local municipalities around, and, they're always willing to lend a hand, so.
Good. Excellent. All right, great. Well, more of a reassurance for the board, I think.
Yeah,
just to-
absolutely. Yep,
to
no,
just
we're
let us
in
know.
good hands, we'd be in better hands if, but we're not gonna talk about that anymore. I promised I would stop talking about that, didn't I, Robert? Okay.
All right, Mr. Stolzenberg, thank you very much for your report. I appreciate it.
Yep. thank
Mr.
you.
Belson?
Somebody's horns blaring away.
Somebody's.
Not the police car, is it?
See me hopping up?
No.
It's your car.
It's over towards Champs.
There's one way of getting out of the meeting, you can run out to.
Mr.
Good
Belson.
evening. We'll get to just a couple of key points on the report. Irving Road is officially closed down to all through traffic as of this morning. They have milled all the asphalt off. I just seen this afternoon, if any through traffic attempts to go through there, there is police officers patrolling that. I'm sure Scott will hit on that, but I already seen someone lucky enough to be in contact with them earlier, so.
So what are the routes to get there?
So essentially you would, to get around, you can go if you're going into the residence,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Okay.
So anybody that
Right,
lives there, visitors that are going there, if you're going from Main Street to get past the
Gotcha.
construction zone,
Perfect.
that's the issue.
Because there's an open house on Saturday.
Yeah, if
with
you're
a
going
friend.
to anything that
Yeah.
you're going to a residence there, you're fine. It's just driving through to get from
Yeah.
one side to the other.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
Approximately how long is that?
contractors are estimating late summer, early fall. My anticipation would be more towards late summer. I would guess early to mid-August, they should be done.
It's the same contractor that did Dearborn.
Yes.
And they were, unlike most of the contractors, they're actually quicker than what they anticipated. Not to say that this is gonna happen this time, but they're usually pretty good.
Nice.
Right.
Excellent.
And then also Bender Road Water Tower is currently in the process of getting the interior part of that tower repainted. We do have some bypass equipment set up, but there is possible times where some of the residents on the west side of town could see some fluctuation in water pressure. Try to minimize that. Hopefully you don't notice it, but there might be that possibility. Have you seen any?
Air,
Air.
a little bit of air, but nothing
Okay.
big.
Good. Then as Craig had noted, next Friday will be my last official working day with the village. I'll still be working with the village for several months till someone finds, or till you guys find a license replacement for me. It's been a pleasure the last 10 years, 13 years serving the village. Just I had an opportunity. It was really hard to pass up. So I'm going to work for Berry County Road Commission as a superintendent of operations. So thank you, everything that everybody's done and helped me with. Appreciate it over the years, and let me know if I can do anything for you in the meantime.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, good luck.
you. Sorry. Big sigh. Sergeant Ware, welcome.
Thank you.
By the way, I just wanted to comment before you get going, the black uniforms,
They look good, don't they?
they really do look
A
good.
lot more comfortable. They're
Yeah,
holding up better too.
very sharp. I dig it.
Take a quick moment to publicly thank Alec for all his help over the last 3 years I've been up here. Been a pleasure to work with you. We're gonna miss you, but welcome to the county. So, any questions on the numbers from last month? All right. It's a couple key things. I know last council meeting, there was questions about social districts, enforcement, things like that. Enforcement isn't the issue. It's, I talked to several different law enforcement agencies that have social districts, one of which Kent County, who has several social districts within the county that their agency handles, was like, wait, we have social districts there? They don't have problems with them. That's the key. So from a law enforcement aspect, we're not concerned about it. We think it'll be fine. With the Rock the Country, it's a big event coming up this weekend. Again, it's here. It's finally here. So next time you see me, we'll talk about all the good, the bad, the ugly. Expect lots of police officers presence at many of the intersections, starting here at our light and going all the way down to the venue and all the way down to Pleasant Point, which is the 3743 corridor. So avoid that area, please. If you're not going to the show, if you're going to the show, please be patient. For you guys, for finance reasons, we are in contract negotiations, both the road union and the command union. So we're looking at increasing wages for the deputies and the sergeants, as well as our lieutenant. So once we have any numbers, bring those forward to you guys, so you guys have an idea of what the increases are going to be, because obviously it has a direct effect with our contract here. So, and then we just hired Deputy Alex Stiles. He comes to us from Kalamazoo County. He currently is in FTO. Well, he'll start FTO, on Monday. And as far as the flock cameras go, they are up and going, and they are working very well. I believe Craig mentioned at the last meeting, we did have a successful, we'll call it apprehension with it. We had somebody that was tearing up Spring Park. Somebody was able to give us a description of the vehicle, pulled up the cameras, was able to find it within 30 seconds of searching, got the license plate, went to the address, wasn't there at the time. Later that night, found the same vehicle, was able to stop them and cite them accordingly. So on top of that, we've had several hits off the cameras for stolen plates, stolen vehicles, things like that. No apprehensions on those hits yet, but they help us to track those vehicles, and the agencies that enter those know that these vehicles are going through our area. So we're having some good success with that already.
Awesome.
Questions?
When do you suppose the traffic's going to really start to become impacted here? Thursday?
You will see some traffic increase Thursday. Most of that's going to be RVs and car campers. They're allowed to come in starting Thursday. They have a window on Thursday, and off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is. But they also open up an early morning Friday window for some of those that can't come in Thursday to come in Friday morning. So you will see slight increases, not anything crazy Thursday. As far as Friday goes, no idea. We're planning on 10 o'clock kind of being our big peak for the start of congestion, but my personal thought is it's going to start as early as 5, 6 o'clock down by the expo. And by the time it backs up here, it'll probably be like 8, 9 o'clock. If we do get those bigger backups, the bigger concerns obviously going to be after the event when everybody's leaving. That's when we're going to have the most issues. A combination of just the amount of traffic and dealing with high and drunk drivers, people that are upset because they're stuck in traffic, things like that. So I think that's going to be the worst time between, we'll say, the midnight to 2 a.m. corridor.
Have you heard anything about their backup plan for parking and I know that some of their plans had fallen through. Any resolution on that at all?
Last I was told is there's not enough parking at the event, which we knew there wouldn't be. They were able to secure the new development directly across, which has the road on, but no houses yet. They claim they can get 1,800 vehicles in there. I don't know how that's even possible. We're thinking they might get 200 to 300 vehicles back in there. But they're saying 1,800, and we don't know how they're going to fit them back there, where they're going to put them, because there's still construction equipment all throughout that new development. So no idea.
Okay.
As I said, avoid the area. No parking along 37. No.
Records are going to be
Yeah, that
real
would be a
busy.
disaster, people getting out of cars.
Yeah, wish I had a record right now. All right. Well, thank you for the updates and good luck.
And just real quick to kind of, sorry, one more thing I wanted to go over real quick. Just so you guys have an idea of part of the flock system, it gives us statistics. It gives us, so if we're talking traffic study stuff, just so you guys kind of have an idea, it breaks it down by day, both unique vehicle volume as well as total vehicle volume. So for our six cameras, we've had since the last 30 days, 821,717 vehicles go by those cameras. Of those, 383,208 were unique vehicles, meaning there's 338,000 vehicles going by. Many of those are going by more than once or going by more than one camera. So if you're going, down 37 straight through town, you're going to hit two cameras. So it counts as two hits. But for unique vehicle totals in 1 month, we're having just under 400,000 vehicles come through the village, with our peak days being Monday through Friday. The weekends, it drops off quite significantly, which just helps us understand that we're a commuter town, not necessarily a population to come or a destination to come for tourists and visitation, but for DDA statistics, it's good for them to know what can we do to up the people coming in to visit on the weekends. So
For sure. We have a lot of opportunity to capture the attention of some of those people. That's great. Wow. Great statistics. Great
All righty.
statistics. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, it appears as though we have no unfinished business. So moving on to,
Liaison reports?
liaison. My apologies.
It's all
Any
right.
liaison reports? Skip right over that again. Nothing.
Apparently it was
Probably
okay
have.
today.
I think we're all right. I sadly was not able to make the DDA unless Eric would like to be the liaison report for the DDA this evening since he has nothing else to do.
Riverbank Music Series is underway. That started this last Friday. It was, as far as I can tell, it was a pretty good success for having people turn out. Of course, this weekend we're taking a break because of Rock the Country. Don't want to add to the
Mayhem.
And we just had a Heritage Day meeting today. And getting some stuff established for that. We've got a band playing for that night. Or actually that afternoon. NXT band, just gotta get their contract finalized and few activities down. We're gonna have a dunk tank again, so if any of the council members would want to take a turn in it, that would be great.
You'd be good. Alex, like, I got everything I want. I've been saving up for this event. We got a whole jar of quarters I'm gonna put on that.
We're gonna ask the fire chief to fill up the tanker a day or two before, so the water has a chance to come out a little bit.
Oh, wait, it's not heated water? Can I donate one?
Hopefully the level does not go up, it goes down.
Great.
And that's about all I got.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Any other liaison reports? Seem like no. Thanks. Well, thank you very much. again. All right, on to no unfinished business and moving on to new business. The Quadplex, Mr. Stolzenberg.
Yes, the 4-unit formerly owned by the Robertson family, purchased by the village some 6 years ago, has 2 remaining units occupied by tenants. Each of those tenants was given a lease, or signed a lease, I should say, for 1 year, and it's been 6 since then. So if council is interested in doing anything with that property ever, we need to make sure, that it's not occupied at that time. The current occupants have been put in touch with the people over at the Mid Villa, so they can, look to them, see if they have any openings, or they have openings, they're gonna be filling up here pretty quick, but they've been in touch with them to see if, there's any opportunities there. And I've let each of them know that we're gonna discuss this tonight. So, if you're interested in doing anything, I would recommend giving them basically 1 year to vacate, and then we can choose, the council can choose what we want to do with that property.
Definitely worth discussion. They have been, I spoke with Nate with regard to the apartments, and he certainly was more than willing to work with them, knowing that there's some disparity in how much we're charging versus what he charges, but he said he would be willing to work with them to help them out as best he could. In terms of length of time, obviously 1 year is a lot of grace. So I know that a lot of things are going to be converging very soon with regard to how we would like to be using that property. So I would just say, a year is a great number. Any ideas if it should be shorter, just given the amount of activity that is focused on this, the central part of town here?
It's a site that the library committee is interested in pursuing, for potential library there. Potentially if, we outgrew Village Hall, or Township outgrew Township Hall, or we all outgrew together, maybe we want to look at a community center or something like that. It'd be, probably a good location for that. Master plan wise, it fits, it's all public use right there. It fits in really well with anything that we wanted to do master plan wise. So, but we can't really do anything with it unless we have it free and clear.
Could we have a soft termination on June with the ability to negotiate an earlier termination if something were to happen with that land, but just say that it would be a absolute hard stop depending on where we are with a particular project, but with the caveat that if they wait that long, that there may be something, it may be something sooner. But again, I want to be super empathetic in the sense that this is their home, and we're going to get out of the landlord business. I think it's really our goal, but I think it's also important that we're empathetic to the fact that we don't want to just make a right turn at light speed and change directions without them having adequate notice. So
Absolutely.
maybe we have maybe a rolling deadline that there's a potential that 6 months, as early as 6 months, but then obviously we want to give them a window that's equal to that, to June 1st, to give us some flexibility as well. Does that make sense?
Yep. And I can work with the attorney to get something drafted up.
Have you talked to the residents at all?
I have. Yep. I've talked with both of them multiple
Do they know
occasions.
what their resources are?
Yes.
If they can help or whatever?
Yep. Yep.
Good.
Yep. I serve on the United Way board, as most of you know, and I've, given them adequate, resource,
They got time.
they-
It's just-
they-
they
yep.
don't know where to go for
Right.
help.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
full support behind them,
Yep.
obviously.
Absolutely.
But that is definitely a much desired location, I think, from the public's perspective, and we
Yep.
certainly are going to align that property with what it
In,
should
in
be
both
used for.
well aware, what the market looks like and everything, and that's exactly why they wanted to stay there as long as they did, because I mean,
Right.
it's,
It's been nasty.
yeah, really good, good rates for a long time, and who wouldn't want to, stick it out as long as possible, so.
It'll be good, I think. Overall, I think either way,
Plenty of time.
I think it's, give them a good amount of time, but also I think they have good opportunity too. I mean,
Mhm.
and I don't know the specifics of what they would work out with them, but I'm sure that it would be something that's going to help them move forward.
Sure.
All right.
Does our attorney need to look into something like that?
I talked with them and just basically said we need to go ahead from council, and then we'll work out the language and the paperwork.
We
The
have no
notice.
specific plans for it right now, correct? No
No,
specific.
no specific plans right now.
Nothing inked. Yeah.
You need a motion?
Yeah, I
Need
think
a
so.
Motion.
I'd like to make a motion. So I'd like to move to authorize the village manager to terminate all lease agreements for property located at 150 River Street no later than June 1st, 2026, with some flexibility provided we give them 6 months notification.
Support.
We have a motion with support. Rana, could I please have a roll call?
Ian Williams,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton,
Aye.
John Osterbon,
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye. All right, motion passes. And moving on to the deputy clerk administrative assistant.
Yes, so Kim Dannenberg, who is our current deputy clerk administrative assistant, has been working really well down here, but also working part-time, 16 hours roughly a week up at the Public Works Garage, and is needed up there at least full-time. So we need, one of the issues with Alex's role is the state keeps lumping on more and more paperwork, more and more reporting, more and more things that have to be done administratively that really, take away from his other job and, puts more hours and things like that, which is, one of the reasons that, he had so many things going on. So we need to alleviate that for whoever ends up being in that role moving forward and, take some of the burden off of, whoever the incoming director ends up being. And we are growing and, our tax base is growing, we have the resources that we can support this, and we can also support moving forward for the next budget cycle. I'm planning on asking for an additional public works employee too. So another equipment operator to continuing supporting the work that is going on up there. We have some gaps in, some of the other mandated with, trainings and things like, safety trainings and things like that need to happen that just haven't had enough time to do, in the day. So, so at this point, I'm asking for approval to amend the agenda, or amend the budget to add an additional staff person for the office.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation to amend 2025 village budget, adding one full-time position, et cetera. Per the
Support.
recommendation.
We have a motion with support. I just have a couple of quick questions with regard to this role as it relates to training and so on and so forth. I understand, moving into a space where we have a vacuum to some degree. Would this new administrative role for the DPW allow for the more coordination of safety trainings, things like that might be,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's the plan, right now, and we'll, work to
All
build
right.
that in there. Yes, absolutely.
Obviously,
Yep.
more offline discussion for sure, but
Yep.
how do we leverage that to fill that gap
Mhm.
as much as we can?
Well, we have a lot of other resources. We work with the Michigan Municipal League for our insurance carrier and things like that, and they have a lot of good resources and recommendations. It's just all great programs, all great things, as long as you have somebody that has the time to do it all. So
Right.
that's the thing, is finding people, to actually do the work. So I think this will help alleviate that quite a lot.
And as I understand it, I mean, I think Alec certainly is going to be giving us a data dump of
It's
disposition of a lot
already.
of things. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But that is I think that document needs to be shared amongst the board just so that we understand fully what he's leaving behind. And I think that is something that we may be able to review that and give guidance with regard to, are we properly staffed? Are there other additional opportunities to make sure that we are paying attention to the specific areas? Because I trust Alec's assessment, and he's obviously going to be forthcoming on as much information as he is willing to share with regard to the current disposition of things. Now would be the moment where we can look at this and say, how do we make sure that this opportunity is the right opportunity for whoever steps into the role, so that the things that may have transpired to make someplace else more appealing don't happen to the next person. So not to say that it wasn't dealt with appropriately, but I think there are gaps that need to be filled. There are certainly issues that need to be addressed that we need to be paying very close attention to. And I think we've really put a lot of burden on Alec's shoulders to just carry that alone without having any external advice or input as well. So
He's leaving Friday, right?
Next
So
Friday.
we should
Next
probably
Friday.
look at it.
Well, I
Because
think,
there's gonna be questions.
if I may counter a little bit, like more of a higher level approach from the board. Let me worry about the minute details and things like that. Me and the rest of the team. I think that might be not necessarily your all's role, is to look at the fine details of.
I think strategically,
of
as strategic importance that this particular role is, and I don't want to. I understand that this is not a tactical board, so we're not here to do the day-to-day stuff. I think overall and generally, the environment itself needs to be taken a look at, because anytime any strategic resource of any particular organization decides to leave, it needs to be looked at. If we were to lose, for instance, Glormar next month because of external things, or because there was no transparency to say, maybe we're just not running a tight ship collectively because we don't have visibility on the issues that might lead to someone leaving. I agree that any great opportunity, and Alec was very transparent about what his what made him make those decisions. And it's an old saying that I've been saying for years with people that I've worked with, that I've seen people come and go, and teams that I've led, and that is, it's never about the money until it's about the money. So when it's about the money, it's too late, because money doesn't fix the problems that led up to that. So if we as a village, who have grown significantly, and I've listened to Alec for years, sure, let's build more parks, let's have beautification, let's have all of these things, let's do all of that, except as you continue to expand all of the very visible things that happen in this village, it's still the same size of a team, and we haven't really paid a lot of attention to that. And we have put a lot on that, on the DPW, in grandiose ways with regard to what our expectations have been over the years. And Alec very plainly says, sure, I'm happy to do this, but you just tell me how I'm supposed to take a loaf of bread and slice, how thin do you want those slices to be? And I think that that's important for us, this board, strategically, to understand,
Yeah.
are we well staffed? Do we have the right equipment? Do we have the right capital improvement budgets? Are we supporting the team so that they can do their jobs effectively and not lead to stress or other things that might make other opportunities better? I'm not saying that that's what happened here. I'm just saying it's a great opportunity for us to get visibility on a department that we have literally handed to Alec and given him carte blanche on dealing with everything in his own space without any oversight really on our behalf, other than to approve things that he comes to us with. And we give him the money, right? But if it means 3 additional staff members, if it means more training, if it means more time off, if it means whatever it means, I'm making things up here, but if it means that, I think that it's up to us to be able to give you support to be able to make those things happen. So I think that that's a fair assessment, not the day-to-day stuff, but again, he's going to be the one that's going to leave us with disposition on certain major items that I think we should at least take a look at and see visibly, so that we can have insight on it and at least have an opinion about it.
Sure.
And that's really what I'm going for here.
Okay, that makes sense. And we are definitely, compared to other similar communities, very understaffed compared to other,
I agree.
similar.
100%
I
agree.
have a question.
Mhm.
If he's leaving Friday, who's taking his spot? Who's gonna be supervising everybody while? in the
He has
interim
Craig,
before we are-
Craig, and we also have,
Rob Simons is
number
the
2.
working supervisor right now, and he'll be still, scheduling things and doing all that. So he and I will be working together on all that stuff. Alec, as I mentioned before, will be working as the water operator in charge, lending us about, 4 or 5 hours a week, depending on what's needed to complete paperwork and stuff like that. But really, it's going to be Rob and I and Rhonda and Glorimar. We're all going to work as a team to, fill in the gaps, which we do really well already anyhow when people are.
And Rob is great, by the way.
are missing.
He certainly a very capable dude. So I'm glad that we have Rob too.
I'm glad we have everybody.
I'm glad we have everyone, but
Still
yeah,
there,
Rob is going to step up and certainly go above and beyond. He's already committed to that. And I think that that's certainly a very generous offering from him as well. So, all right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Which concludes my discussion point on this amendment to the budget. Any other comments or concerns or questions that need to be discussed? All right. We have a motion with support to amend the 2025 village budget, adding 1 full-time position to an existing staff of 14 full-time employees. Rhonda, let's do a roll call, please.
Well, you have to. So
Well, I know,
let's do it.
which is why we're doing
Let's. Ann Williams,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Richard Hamilton,
Aye.
John Osterban,
Aye.
Mackenzie Peters. Oh, sorry, Kevin Smith.
Oh, aye.
Thank you. I'll get that posted, probably next week when I get back from wrestling camp.
Thank you. Thanks, Craig. All right. In your packets that have been fully reviewed and read and understood, there were informational items and correspondence, the GVMC Whitecaps invitation, which is interesting. We are going to move on to public comment. If there are any willing participants to that.
The Grand Valley Metro Council invitation, by the way, my daughter and I are going to plan on attending. So if anybody
I'm
wants
going.
to, there you go.
Excellent.
My son.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
won't be loner. So, all right.
Excellent. Excellent. Back to public comment. Anyone?
I forgot one thing on my EDA report.
Mr. Schaefer.
There's a shop hop this weekend.
Yes.
Friday.
That's important. I should
What is it?
That's it.
Yes, the
Oh.
shop.
Council comments, I'll.
All right, no more public comments. Moving on, final council comment. Please, Tracy.
I wondered if someone has some time, maybe could go over this and tell me what things are, that are marked or monthly or annual, the charges on these budgets we get,
Sure.
so that I can understand them a little better. That's it. Some of them say, you know, or some of them have some vague descriptions, but maybe you guys know. what they
You can
are.
schedule a time with me and Gormar anytime. We
Okay.
can figure it out. Yep.
All right.
which
We'll
was
go through it
definitely
all.
going to be my recommendation.
Okay.
And they're very, I mean, certainly have fund balances and things like that are complex, and I get it, and definitely time well spent, for sure.
Okay, I'll send you an email.
Okay.
All right, so to reiterate on what Eric was talking about, Cassandra was nice enough to get all the businesses together, which has always been this is my third year having a business. It's always been a hard thing to do, to get everyone communicating. So she communicated with each and every business, and we're just we're staying open late on Friday and doing a little shop hop kind of thing. I'll have a pop-up vendor. I'm not sure what the other ladies are going to be doing, but because there's no music series, so we're the market still be there, so we're just kind of promoting shopping experience, people coming downtown and
You're gonna get anything from the shops they visit? Scavenger hunt or something?
no, we didn't go that far into it, but I'm sure some of the shops might do like a discount or, you know, some sort of coupon kind of thing like that. I'm not exactly sure. You'll have to go to each shop and see. That's all.
I thank you. Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, I would like to thank Alec for all his years of service and wish you the best of success in your new job. Keep that snow off the road. That's the only thing you're gonna have to worry about in the
Yeah,
winter.
that's it.
That's all it is.
No sewers, no water, no streets, no.
I told, by the way, I did tell him he's welcome to come back anytime, but we just have to start him out as the summer helper and then work his way up.
I'm sure he'll jump right on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck to you. And to you, Craig.
Thanks, I need it. Mr. Osterbon, no?
Yep, he's already passed.
Oh, wow. I just did,
Took me off guard. I
yeah.
don't know what to do now. Actually, I have a few topics. The first topic is, as evidence, this Friday, the Riverbank Music Series was, this early on in the summer, I've never seen as many people. So we can attest that to the band. We can also attest that to just the public outreach. I'm going to just double down on this statement. We can and will continue to do great things as long as we start to work together collectively. I think as evidence, the bridge project is moving forward because the township and the village have worked together. These are choices. This isn't like nobody rolls out of bed every day and has to do these things. We do that because I think cooperation makes sense, right? And we are already doing so many great things collectively. Certainly it has been my vision since I even started on the board, and certainly will continue to be my mission long into the future as long as I don't get voted off the island. But it will be my single highest priority is to find ways for all of us, whether that's planning and zoning, whether that's the DDA, LDFA, that as long as we're all looking at the village as the opportunity and the township as the opportunity, and as long as we can continue to look at this as an opportunity, not a means to have division, not because I want to run it this way or this is going to fail because I'm not part of it, whatever, all of that is noise. I think really we just have to find ways to continue to double down on how do we work together to accomplish the tasks that we all know this community wants to accomplish. And we can be a vessel for that. And certainly I hear a lot of commentary from the people I talk to all the time. And so do you, and I know all of you do as well. And when I see successful events like shop hops that occur when the right people are doing the right task and they're engaged with people, it shows heart, it shows commitment. And I think Cassie's doing, wow, a lot of really great things. And I think as long as we see evidence of that, the fruits of that labor, I think, we certainly have the right person in the right seat. If for nothing else, there's passion, and that's the most important, I think, in this case. And I think as it goes to and applies to things like the master plan and how do we execute that effectively with the right people in the right seat. Sadly, Alec was certainly a great instrument in making a lot of the things that we wanted to accomplish happen through the efforts of not only himself, but his team. They're miracle workers. We have a wonderful village, and it's a direct result of
He'll be back
it's
in a
under.
month.
Yeah, I pray. Continue to pray. But again, I think my biggest fear is that we lose sight of the fact that we all as individuals have our own agenda, and we certainly have our way of doing things. I don't think any of our opinions are dissimilar. We've had workshop after workshop. We all have the same concerns. It's kind of uncanny how much we are in agreement. And yet, for some reason or another, there's always an undertow of resistance, of which I don't certainly tolerate as a member of the community. We have no time for that. And I think when we work together and accomplish the things that we need to accomplish and have a plan and we all agree on it, great things will happen in this village. We have a wonderful community. I'm humbled every day to serve it and to serve it with enthusiasm along with the rest of this board. So it certainly can't happen without you guys. Your commitment to learning and education and certainly your opinions all matter. So I feel very much at peace about us going in the right direction and continuing to do that with the collective help of everyone around us. So I'm thankful every day for that. I'm thankful for the DDA and the efforts that they make every day to help make this community just a better place to live. So with that, I think a motion is in order.
Can I have?
No, that was a great ender. Why would you mess that up?
Well, speaking of workshops,
He's got 18 more.
speaking of workshops, we have 2 workshops scheduled next week on the 17th, Tuesday.
You
the
have all
17th.
kinds of mic time.
Yes,
I'm just
I know,
joking. I'm
I
joking.
forgot.
Go ahead.
6 o'clock DDA joint meeting or joint workshop with you, and then with the township at 7 o'clock here. So
Yes.
next Tuesday is the 17th. So
Yep.
that's all I got.
And I look
I'll
forward
be
to that.
quiet.
And I definitely look forward to that. That's where we can get together and work together and continue to agree that we want to make this community better. So that workshop, please, 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 let's make every effort to make that happen. We also have a joint LDFA workshop that's planned that I think Ms. Getty had sent
That's
out.
TAPRC.
Or the TAPRC, I'm sorry. The acronyms are swimming in my head right now
Which the date is not set yet because she's asking for
for input on
people
that.
to.
Right.
Yep.
And I know that I don't know if anybody has received that survey, but at bare minimum, just share it with Craig to have him forward it on to
Yep.
her on like
When you're
what dates
available.
work good for
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I think that again, a strong partnership with the TAPRC is really going to accomplish some pretty cool things here in the community as well. So please get that available date that we can have a joint workshop. Can make it on an off Tuesday like the one next Tuesday. Let's just try to put something on the calendar for Miss Getty and for the TAPRC as well. So, yeah. All right, now, could I please have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
So support.
Motion with support. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.
Yeah. I know.